We begin today, chapter 3 in Shar Yichud. In one word, batal, nullified. What did we learn till now? We learned till now that everything in creation is not the way a human human doesn't create actually. Not the way a human does things. This is my silver goblet. Doesn't look too silver, pretty plasticky, but we all have a creative mind. That's why we're here. So a silversmith can merely mold and shape a malleable product into something different, from silver to a silver goblet. And it becomes independent thereafter, no longer needing its fashioner, its maker. And that's why we look at God, or many people look at God and understand creation. Of course God is a creator, but he fashioned it the way we do, because that's the only way we can understand things. But that's not the case. God is a creator, something from nothing. We can't take nothing and create something. We have to take something. It's even a greater accomplishment. Creation of a rock, of the silver goblet, than the splitting of the sea. The splitting of the sea was miraculous. Yeah, it just caught our attention. The Alter is trying to catch our attention with creation and to sense the the power of creator within creation. So the splitting of the sea took an easterly wind, always blowing very strongly, that it split. No longer was the nature to flow water. Now it stood like a wall. And as long as the easterly wind was engaged, therefore the nature of water changed at that moment. The moment it returned back to its former self, the water, was when the power was no longer vested in it, that wind, and therefore became flowing water. So that's miraculous. It had happened at the exact moment that the Jews needed, of course, and then we recognize God's engagement in creation, but that's something from something. Water that turns into a different nature, stood like a wall. But God creating the world is constantly, the word of God is engaged. The moment that word is removed, it goes back it goes back to its natural state. What is the natural state of creation before creation? Not a black hole, not a mustard seed, nothing. Nothing meaning, nothing that we understand, nothing that that we have an experience of. God before creation, he and himself. That's what we learned in the previous chapter. So now the question is, to be or not to be? Am I real? I feel me, but is that the true reality? Well, what we're learning now is that there is no other force in creation but the force of God, his word, his communication, his word that are the Hebrew letters that make up the word that creates me, that creates Evan, the rock, and it's vested within it. That spiritual force, that divine energy is vested within it. And therefore, when we understand this, we'll understand that that reality is that I am, and all of existence is not. Right? We'll understand that. In other words, it's really the source of God that is within me and all of creation that is the only true reality. He's continuously recreating me and all of creation, something from nothing, and always vested within all of creation is that the word, the activating force within me that brings me from non-existence to existence. Now, we truly don't comprehend that because there's nothing like that in creation. Tomorrow we'll get a metaphor to give us a kind of an idea, an inkling. But we really can't wrap our minds around this because there's nothing in creation like that. In creation, in our world, everything is a cause and effect. So the cause was there before they created the effect, and that cause is vested within the effect. But here we're talking about, well, there's nothing before but God, so therefore we call it nothing. It's beyond our comprehension, and it's beyond our experience. And God is continuously creating, because if he doesn't continuously create, what's happening? The word goes back, the vital force, the activating force of God goes back to its source within God, and then the thing ceases to be. So what is it when the force is there? Nothing else but that force of God, that divine energy of God, the divine word of God, is the divine communication of God. If we were to be able to see that and comprehend that, well, then we'd be nullified. We'd be totally nullified to that reality. Because we would be as we were before creation, before the 6 days of creation. So, what do we have here? As a result of this, Ein Od Milvado, there's nothing else but him, but God. It's not, there's God, and he made me, and now there I am, independent. Once the goblet's been made, the goblet is independent of its maker. And, the human being, independent of its maker, well, I am my own reality. Yes, ultimately God can come and do whatever he wants, because he plays, lost for the word, puppeteer. He's puppeteering, and he can maneuver things, and that's how most people look at God. He's above, I'm down here. Yes, he can control, so he could bring me in front of me something that could be devastating to, right? And that's how we view. Why? Because we view ourselves as independent beings that God created, but in the end, I have an independence of him. That's not true. God is the only reality. Because bringing me into existence at this moment is him. From his nothingness, something from nothing, constantly bringing me into reality, into being with his word that's vested within me. Again, if the word was taken away from, I would cease to exist. Wouldn't even be a memory. And when that word, that divine energy, that creative force of God, the word of God, is vested within me, I'm totally dependent on it to be, not to have qualities, to have mere existence, let alone the qualities of existence. Totally dependent. So what does that mean? There is no other reality. There's no other truth but God. There's no other reality but God. I am just an expression of him. Everything's just an expression of him. Everything is just his word, his communication in a different manner, a different form, as we'll learn later more about. That's all. Think about that. That will change our reality, how we view things. Again, as Erica says, he's looking at himself. Yeah. But here's the question is, how am I looking? Right? How am I looking? So again, our eyes are not privy to this reality. And we'll get into that in the next chapter. You know, how does this actually happen? How is there this paradox, you know, of the fact that I feel my existence, I feel my reality, and the truth is it's not but him, anything but him. Okay, that's a paradox that we need to understand, but that will be in the next chapter. But suffice it to say that this is, every moment God is creating me, and therefore I'm totally dependent on him, not just dependent on him, but he is the only reality. Powerful stuff. If we live with this, and you know, so to be or not to be, am I a reality? Seems like there's only one reality. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from my home in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Folks, this is something to share. This is something that we need to ponder and have others ponder. Very important. That we be part of this process to help bring the truth of our reality. Have a wonderful day.